Welcome to Uccello's for today's media luncheon. Our players this week are wide receiver Brandon Bean, who moved into a tie for 10th on the all-time catch list with 124 receptions. Quarterback Bart Williams, who is 3rd in all-time passing yards in Grand Valley. Head coach Matt Mitchell. And some housekeeping items. Laker fans can pick the jersey, the uniform combination that Grand Valley State will wear this week, and the Twitter polls out. Option 1 would be a white helmet, white jersey, blue pants.
That's the one.
Option 2, black helmet, white jersey, blue pants. Option 3, black helmet, white jersey, gray pants. Option 4, black helmet, white jersey, white pants. And also we have a couple of guests here tonight, who won the Twitter poll, Jordan Gust and Alex Stewart. So welcome them to the luncheon today. Coach, if you can talk about the victory over Northern Michigan and move on to the matchup at Ashland, who comes into the game ranked 4th.
Sure. Obviously, appreciate everyone that came out on Saturday for homecoming. Weather was less than ideal, but I think we had over 12,000 people. So I know all of our players and coaches appreciate the support that we get, at home. So it's good to be back home after basically a month between home games. I didn't start exactly, it started out well offensively, went right down the field and scored, but, after that offensively, a lot of self-inflicted errors that bogged us down. If you look at our drives, beyond the opening drive, where, I think it was a 6 or 7 play drive for a touchdown, we followed that up with, interception, punt, fumble, and that was not converting on a 4th down. So the rest of the way, we had 5 drives. After the first drive, 5 drives. 4 of the 5 drives, we turned the ball over. And it was pretty frustrating, I think, for everyone involved offensively and for our team, because we were moving the ball well. We just were turning over, especially down the red zone. Defense kept coming up with stops. They did Northern Michigan did a good job hitting a couple plays on us, scheming us up a little bit, but we got some stops in the red zone, held them to a field goal in the first half. Second half come out, they used some tempo on us, got us a little bit off balance defensively, but, arguably the play of the game is Colin Slosher popping the ball out on the running back and Pettis picking it up and created some energy, and then we picked up a little bit of a controversial 3rd down to Nick Kaiser. We got that, and then we kind of kept going. So in a day where, the weather was less than ideal, we were down, our tailback, and then our second tailback was out pretty quickly. We tried to give it a go. He didn't practice all week, tried to give it a go. He wasn't 100%. We really had to lean on Caleb Richard and Drean Kemp in the run game. Overall, we still averaged 7.2 yards per rush, which is a big number. And so you have to give some credit to the O-line tight ends, and we're able to insert a couple new guys in there. And, I think they did well, having not played really much at all in heavy competition. And when it mattered most, I thought they stepped up, did a good job, and then our defense. It's not easy. I don't care what offense you're facing. It's not easy to hold somebody to 3 points, and for those guys to keep them out of the end zone, a lot of credit to our defense. So, off the loss, able to get a 25-point victory at home, and start focusing up on Ashland this week. This is obviously a very critical game for our season. With some of the losses that happened in the region, there's a lot out in front of us. I think, my opinion, virtually assured getting in if we can somehow find a way to win out, and also winning out ties us for the conference championship. So I think these guys are all attuned to what is at stake with this contest at their place. This is a very good football team. Statistically, when you're looking at the GLIAC, there are clearly 3 teams that are at the top of the league in both offense and defensive categories, us, Ashland, and Ferris. And so when you look at the stats for us and Ashland's, it's remarkable how statistically similar these two squads are. Both defenses are the top 2 defenses in the league in terms of points per game given up, and it's identical in terms of yards given up at 287.7 yards per game. So very good on defense, run a lot of schemes, a lot of different fronts, a lot of different coverages, and then offensively, extremely impressed with the diversification of their offense, a lot of personnel groups, a lot of formations, a lot of things that they do. But Travis Tarnowski is a special player. He's only thrown one interception this entire season. They've been able to run the ball effectively with Andrew Vaughn, but Tarnowski is what makes that offense go. They are number 2 in the nation right now in third down conversion percentage. They're extremely effective on third down. A large part of that has to do with their quarterback. He can extend plays, keep them alive, and he's a very, very special player. So we've got 3 quarterbacks in this league at some of the top teams that are matching up, and I think another Saturday is going to be an example of that with Bart and Travis Tarnowski. Between the 2 of them, they've only thrown 3 interceptions through 9 games, which is pretty crazy for 2 quarterbacks to be able to say that. So big challenge. They're good on special teams too, and they're a very balanced football team offensively and defensively. So this is a team that's going to present a lot of challenges. We understand what's at stake. We can't focus on what's at stake. We got to focus on the details of getting the job done. So we'll get to work here on tape and put together a game plan and get it to our guys, and coaches and players working together to get the job done is obviously the goal. 7 p.m. down in Ashland, Ohio. Questions?
Coach, talk a little bit more about Travis Tarnowski and what does he do really well?
Well, I think, first of all, he's supremely confident. He's played a lot of football at their place, a multi-year starter. And he's a lot of snaps. So he's really confident within their offense. You can tell that on tape. He's really good at improvising, so maybe if a guy kind of gets in and around him, he can scramble. He does a really good job of scrambling to throw. A lot of plays where it turns into a scramble drill, and he's really keen about trying to push the ball down the field. And they've got some explosive plays, being able to push the ball down the field. So, and a very accurate passer. They do a lot of things with him. They move the pocket with him. They've got some 3-step. They've got some 5-step. They do a good job of changing up where the launch point is. He's very accurate. But like I said, I think his confidence, his ability to extend plays, his playmaking ability with his feet and his arm are going to be a unique challenge for our defense.
Matt, in 2015, you played Ashland twice at their place within a short period of time, about a month or so, and the 2 games couldn't have been more different. What did you learn after the first game down there that you were able to incorporate the second time in the playoff win, and do you feel that some of those things are still applicable now?
Yeah, well, I think the biggest thing for our defense, the first time around, we struggled with the formations, the motions, the shifts, a lot of things that they did. We had bad eye control. We had some confusion. I think we worked hard to get that cleaned up for the second round matchup because they do present some challenges. And then we were able to, force some turnovers in that game, which he really hasn't turned the ball over a lot, since that game. And then the second time around, as opposed to the first time around, we were able to run the ball a little bit more effectively on their front. We had, at that time, Kirk Spencer was a senior and Martavius was a freshman. We kind of used the 1-2 punch. Those are 2 talented tailbacks. And we're able to use the 1-2 punch and establish a little bit more of a ground game than we did the first time around that way. So, there's some things that are applicable because the coaching staffs are, for the most part, intact, and you can kind of see what they do. But some of it's not applicable because the players are a lot different too on both sides of the ball. So, we took a look at some of that tape, but I don't want to lean on that tape too much. It's 2 years removed, and both these teams are a little bit different than when they matched up 2 years ago.
It was about this time a couple of years ago that Marty really came into the forefront after being a substitute most of the year. After the game on Saturday, do you feel that you and these guys sitting with you right now have much more confidence in somebody like Kemp, who's really been the healthiest of the backs that you've used at that position this year, and he got to show what kind of creativity he had, and I wonder if you guys could comment on his play Saturday.
Yeah, as I said in the postgame press conference, Dran's only a redshirt freshman, and we need to all keep that in mind, coaches and players, because I think we've seen, in spring ball, a little bit in fall camp, I think we saw some flashes of the talent. And he had a really solid spring. Coming into fall camp, he got off to a good start, but then he had a hamstring issue. And then it's really tough once the season got going and you kind of had Martavius and Bryce established to get touches. It's difficult. we don't really want to be a 3 or 4 tailback team because it's hard to get in the rhythm or flow of a back. If you're splitting carries amongst 3 or 4 guys, it's difficult. So I think Saturday provided him an opportunity. I will give him a tremendous amount of credit because he stepped up in that opportunity. But I hopefully there's some humility still from him that he's not a finished product. But for a redshirt freshman to go out there, get your number called when basically a week's notice we need you, to step up. I thought he did a good job and kind of stuck with the plan and stuck with his coaching there to get those 3 touchdowns and had I think it was 99 net, but had over 100 yards, in terms of the gross. So it was good in his bright future. He's got to stick with the process. I think that's going to be critical for his future moving forward. But I'll let Bean tackle it first, and then Bart in terms of what they saw from Saturday and really from him all year.
Yeah, just like Coach Mitchell said, watching him and playing with him in fall during camp, we knew Kemp was a special player. I mean, he runs the ball really hard. So, I mean, he got, like Coach Mitchell said, he got injured a little early on, and, he's been, testing the waters, getting back healthy. But, I mean, if he sticks with the process, Kemp is going to be a really good back. I have a lot of confidence, putting him in the backfield and blocking for him because, I mean, he's an explosive guy in our offense. So, I mean, we know what he's capable of, and if he sticks to the process, he could be a really special player.
Yeah, I definitely have to agree with that. I think things that we saw in spring ball, all the way through fall camp, you thought Kemp was a really, really good guy. Just kind of, you've seen the talent in the room with Martavius and Bryce, and even Caleb's done a good job. So I think it's tough for him. Like Coach Mitchell said, we don't want to run 3 or 4 tailbacks. But after the game on Saturday, it looks like he's ready for the moment, ready for the game. Runs hard, plays hard, and it's just good to see that all that work through spring ball and fall camp is showing up when he gets his opportunity.
So piggybacking on the conversation of halfbacks in your unit, Coach, do you have any update on the possible availability of Marty and Bryce coming up to this weekend?
Well, obviously Marty didn't play at all on Saturday. It's Monday. I guess we'll kind of see how things progress. Tough to play running back with the injury he has. And then Bryce. Bryce was hurt in the Truman State game, early in the Truman State game, didn't play against Ferris, did not practice all week. Tried to give it a go on Saturday, and it got progressively, worse as the half wore on. We made the decision at halftime. He couldn't go the second half, so neither one of them are done for the year. It's not a season-ending type injury, but it's not necessarily an ideal situation sitting here on a Monday.
So for this one's more for Bart and Brandon. This past weekend, you guys scored only 7 points in the first half. Obviously, rectified that a little bit in the second half. But what can the two of you individually and as a unit do this coming weekend to make sure the offense flows a little bit better?
I would say we just got to go out there and compete, take care of the football, really. We had an interception, had a fumble, turned the ball over on a 4th and 1. We just got to be opportunistic and take advantage of those plays because those plays have it right down in the scoring zone. We didn't have trouble getting it past the 50, even moving it down, but some of those downs are critical, and we didn't execute when we had a chance to. So that's something we got to do on Saturday better than we did last week, is just be opportunistic when we get a chance.
Yeah, definitely. As a unit, it starts tomorrow. Going out for practice, got to bring a lot of energy, got to bring a lot of juice, and be excited to play and get better. Like Coach Mitch says, we'll get a game plan. We'll prep for it. You got to go out there and be able to, transfer from what's in the film room to the field. And I can't speak too far ahead in the future, but it starts tomorrow. And it's just about playing better than we did last week. Every week, no matter how good you play. As a unit, offensively, we played well against Ferris. And then Northern Michigan, Coach again said it was evident on film that we didn't get better as a unit. So for me, it's about executing. There are a lot of keys that I missed in last game that you can't make those mistakes against a good team like Ashland. So it's just about getting better every week to week. So that's our focus, and it starts tomorrow.
this is something all three of you can comment on. At the start of the year, you set your goals, and one of those is play for a GLIAC championship. You're in that position now. What do you think the team will do, and how do you feel about that opportunity this Saturday?
Well, I mean, first of all, you are excited about the opportunity from the standpoint there's 9 games in. There's a lot of Division II teams that really aren't playing for anything Saturday. We have a ton ahead of us, and really fortunate to have these opportunities. Things have not been some highs and lows to the season, no doubt about it. But to still have this opportunity in front of us, I think we're all excited about it. We're going to attack it. We always have an attack mindset down in the football center. So to be sitting here with this opportunity is unique. Not a lot of teams have these opportunities, and to play meaningful games at the end of the year. I don't doubt the competitive nature of our squad. I don't doubt the competitiveness. It's coming down to the execution. So we have to make sure we don't let a lot of the the gravity of this game cloud what matters the most. And what matters the most is blocking, tackling, catching, pass protection, throwing the ball, kickoff coverage, getting better at all those things. And our X-point field goal team and our kick return team, and those are the things that we have to focus on, are a lot of the details, attention to detail. So excited about the big picture opportunities, but we've got to narrow our focus on what matters the most, and those things matter the most.
Bart, you want to try that?
I think it's just, you play college football to be in competitive games. I think we're fortunate to be in the situation we're in right now. Like Coach Mitchell said, there's a lot of teams right now that they're just kind of playing to try to get some reps on tape for next year maybe. And, we're fortunate to be in this position. These games are the fun games to play. Competitive teams, good championship level teams, and it's fun to square up against those guys. So, really excited for this opportunity to prep all week and then show up on Saturday hopefully and try to get the win.
Brandon, you fired up?
I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go.
All right. We had talked about uniforms at the start. Do you have a favorite uniform combo? All three of you.
Me, just a winning uniform. I would say when it produces a win. I'll let these guys comment. The fashion experts to my right and left can chime in on that. Been a lot of talk about blue pants I'm hearing through the grapevine, but go ahead.
We haven't done the white helmet, white top, blue pants in a while. I think we did that when I was a freshman, maybe in 2013 or 14. It looked pretty good, so I think that'd be a good combo to do.
Yeah, I was just talking to Mr. Lipinski about it. I think that's the best one, white, blue. I mean, I haven't, other than wearing all blue, from top to bottom, we haven't wore blue pants much, I feel like. So, I think it's a nice combo. I think
there you go.
It fits nice.
Get your Twitter fingers hot. White, blue, top to bottom. Ready to break.
Okay, that'll conclude today's media luncheon, and you can vote for the uniforms on Twitter.
White, blue.